Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mark, and today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite products. We're going to be looking at the Elgato Stream Deck. Over Black Friday, they had a special where you could pick up the Elgato Stream Deck. This is the 15 key configuration for $99, and I absolutely jumped on it. And I realized that setting it up, if you've never used the Stream Deck before, might be a little bit difficult. So today, I'm actually going to be showing you guys how to set it up, some of the things that I use my Stream Deck for, and how you can get the most out of the product. I'm going to be separating this video into a couple of different components. The first one is the hardware, the second one is the software, and the third one is how do you actually make use of the software. When you open the box, there's not a whole lot that's going to come in it. You're of course going to get your Stream Deck down over here. You're also going to get this type of platform that allows you to open it up and rest your Stream Deck down on here. You can see that I have this little foot that your Stream Deck is actually going to be resting on. Once you are ready to go and you get everything out of the packaging, all you need to do is plug it in. Now, in order to make the most out of the Stream Deck, we have to go to the Elgato website. Now from here, you have a couple of different things. So I have my Stream Deck over here, and that's specifically what I want to do. And then I'm going to come to software, because this is going to allow me to get what I need to make the Stream Deck work. Now, what you're looking for is a piece of software called Stream Deck for Mac. If you have a PC, you're going to see Stream Deck for PC there. From there, all you have to do is open up the Stream Deck app. That's this guy right over here. And you are off to the races. When you open up the Stream Deck for the first time, you're probably going to see a screen that looks just like this one. Let's talk about how the interface looks, what we can actually do here. So any of these little pads that we see right along here, these are customizable. I can create folders that house different actions. I can have the actions themselves just sitting out there. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. At the top left-hand corner where it says Stream Deck, you can actually have multiple Stream Decks attached. I don't know if you guys knew that. You can also add the Stream Deck app on your phone to be able to control some other different things as well. And then down below, this is where a lot of the magic truly happens. You're able to create profiles. So for example, this is my default profile. I can do things like see how hard my computer is working. Like I have multimedia, so that way I control media that's playing on my computer. All of my hue light setups, but it makes it really easy to be able to jump back and forth. These are all my shortcuts. Whenever I'm doing video editing now, I don't really touch my keyboard that much, to be honest with you. I'm primarily editing from the Stream Deck. So let's go back to starting with a brand new profile. So right off the bat, the first thing I want to do is actually erase this key, because this doesn't really do anything for me. So to do it, you're going to be right clicking and then delete. Great, so now we have 15 different macro buttons here that we can customize. On the right side over here, these are some of the different things that I can utilize. So game capture is Elgato's suite for being able to stream and record video. But then I have other things, like if you play with Mixer, for example, you have the ability to customize how Mixer works for you. Now in the system, I can do things like bring up websites, I can bring up text, I can actually control my multimedia. So now that we have a blank slate, let's go ahead and talk about how to add in some of the macros that we can add in. First, I want to bring to your attention that this little symbol right over here allows you to customize what actually shows up. Well, I know I'm not going to use Mixer, so I'm going to get rid of that. Maybe I am going to be using OBS. I want to keep Stream Deck, but maybe I don't need Twitter. And I don't need Control Center because that's something that utilizes the Elgato lights. And so I press done. Now the only things that I keep down over here are the things that I actually need to see that I know I'm going to be utilizing the most. If I wanted to find out what else I can do, at the very bottom of the software, you'll see this thing that says more actions. For example, if you have an if this then that account, you can be able to do things like, I'm not even kidding, press a button and order a pizza from Domino's. Let's say, for example, I want something to be able to change the color of all the lights in the house. Because I have a Philips Hue system and I have a bridge that's already attached, I can do something like add in color over here. And the moment I press the color, so I'm going to go ahead and say that this is my living room. I want everything to change the color to let's say we'll call it blue, and then I can shift the color right over here. You'll see that I actually get this color window. And so let's go ahead and set that to blue. And you can see that it already started to change all of my lighting for me. So one of the things that I use quite a bit is CPU, and that's under custom right down over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab CPU, I'm gonna drag it in, and this means that I can keep track of how my CPU is doing no matter what. So you'll notice that my icons look a little bit different than the icons might look on yours, and that's because if you didn't know this, you do have the ability to customize icons very, very quickly. Now, let's talk about what we're seeing here. So I have a couple of folders here. So if I go into hue, for example, I'm going to go ahead and double click this. All of these are different hue light settings. So let's go ahead and cycle through some of these. If I go into reading, that's actually specifically for me because I know I'm going to be reading. If I'm trying to get serious, like if I'm in gameplay, I can change the lights to red. This is the lighting that I'll use for my other YouTube channel. This is what I'll use if I'm streaming. So a lot of really great customization, and all I'm really doing is pressing the button on my Stream Deck to be able to control all of that good stuff. Let's say that I tapped on this folder over here, right? The first thing you should know is that, yeah, you can still set the title. You can see how many items that we actually have in this folder. But what I really wanted to show you is this. Every icon that exists on the Stream Deck, you have the ability to customize. So I can set from a file, I can create a new icon, or I can restore to default. Let's say that we wanted to create a brand new icon. That's something that I actually did almost immediately after I got the Stream Deck to be able to make it easier for my eyes to follow exactly which thing was which. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I go to create icon. It brings me to this whole separate website. Now this website is specifically for allowing you to create icons. So I can do things like set background color, for example. And I'm gonna go ahead and set this to orange. And then I can add in an icon of my choosing. So we'll say that a website should look like this. And then once I'm done, all I have to do is this button down over here that says save key. It's gonna download it for me. And then once from there, I can actually set that icon as my icon. So I'm gonna go back to website. I'm gonna change this to the one I just created that's sitting in my downloads. And that's perfect right there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add a title. We're gonna call this YouTube, for example. And we'll say that this is youtube.com. That should be pretty easy. I'm gonna change this title down over here. Perfect, so I created a macro that's gonna take me to youtube.com. I changed the icon in it, and the moment I press it, guess what? It's gonna take me to YouTube. So one thing that I do want you to know, I'm gonna go to my Final Cut page because I want you to see something that's gonna happen automatically. This is my Stream Deck right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna open up Final Cut. You're gonna see that in the background. And you'll see that automatically my macros just changed. Well, the reason that happened is because with the Stream Deck, you can actually customize it so that when specific applications open up, that the Stream Deck actually changes its profile. Let me go to Configure Stream Deck, and let's go ahead and go to Edit Profiles. In Edit Profiles, I have something really cool that I can do. So Profile 1, for example, I'm gonna say that this is actually for Affinity Designer because that's what I use to create all of my thumbnails. But I'm actually going to assign it to Affinity Designer. So I go to Application, I go to None, I'm gonna go to Other, and then my applications are actually gonna open up. So I'm gonna say, as soon as I get to Affinity Designer, whatever I create, whatever shortcuts I create are gonna show up automatically. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my hotkey in over here. Now, this is actually pretty easy. I love being able to do this because I'm gonna call this, for example, Select. That's one of the tools that you can use to select the different graphic assets that you have. So let's see if this actually works. I'm gonna go back to my defaults. I'm gonna open up Affinity Designer. And sure enough, because Affinity Designer is open, it already switched my macro board for me. Now, if I were to get out of Affinity Designer, it's gonna go back to my default board the moment that I click back on my Finder window. I didn't want to make too long of a video. This is one of the tools that have helped me create content a little bit faster, so I wanted to be able to share that with you guys. Now, if you guys are interested in learning a little bit more, like maybe you want a step-by-step for how to control your hue lights, let me know in the comments. This is the type of stuff that I love talking about. Guys, I hope you liked the video. If you're interested in learning more about the Stream Deck, leave down in the comments below what you want to learn specifically, and I'll keep on making videos around that content. In between making my actual videos on my primary channel, I'm actually going to be doing more of this type of content because I think it's helpful to show you the tools that you can utilize. So if you liked the video, don't forget to leave a like. Your subscription is always appreciated. And until next time, guys, peace.